Yo, what is up, YouTube? It is your boy MarcusK, and I'm going to be throwing out another video for you. Roughly about a year ago, I did a Scuf unboxing on the new controller I just purchased for Call of Duty, which was the Scuf. Now, it's been roughly about 8 months, and I figured why not do a use review. So I would let you guys know if it's really worth buying or not. Alright, so basically this video is going to be kind of all about the downsides to the controller, because there are a lot. Now, I'm not at all trying to knock the company of Scuf and say, hey, don't go buy the controller, because there are some upsides to it, which I'll do in another video. But for now, I'm just going to keep it short, sweet, and let you guys know the downsides. So if you are looking to purchase the controller, you kind of get the gist of what really goes down with the controller. Because I know you're probably seen a lot of people like professional gamers or YouTubers repping this controller, but never actually letting you know the full detailed use if it's worth your 200 bucks. So I'm just gonna throw out a couple things that happened to my controller that I did some reviews, looked some things up, read some Reddit posts, and even emailed Scuf, and apparently it's happened to majority of the people who buy the controller. So the biggest thing right off rip, the day I purchased the controller, it was 200 bucks. Plus I paid a $40 shipping charge, which was ridiculous. Now, they charge you for every little thing. You want your light to be green, 10 bucks. You want an extra Scuf key, 5 bucks. If you want a lanyard, 8 bucks. You know, I'm sorry, but I just spent $180 on your controller. You can't give me a free lanyard? What the hell? Come on, Scuf. So, there's one thing. The cost right off rip is probably going to be a huge killer for a lot of people just because of how expensive it is. Now, another thing is, like 2 weeks into using the controller, I had noticed that my A button on the top right here, the A button, had actually like not worked properly. So sometimes you'd have to click very, very hard, which is why I emailed Scuf and was like, hey, you guys sent me a controller that's malfunctioned, blah, blah, blah. And they emailed me back with the, you didn't buy the Scuf key. You need to buy the Scuf key, open the controller up, and you can loosen and wiggle this little button thing. Apparently it makes it work. No, I should not have to do that. The Scuf key is for your trigger stops so you can loosen and adjust them. So right off rip, they had already either outsourced their customer service and they didn't know what the hell they were talking about, or they just didn't want to help me. So I let it go. I was like, whatever, it's a Scuf controller. I have an A button on the back. That one works fine. Forget it. I'm not trying to send it back and wait another 14 days for my controller to show up. So time started going on. Now, when you buy the controller, there's no way to actually know which stick you want. Do you want dome? Do you want concave? Do you want medium? Do you want short? Do you want long? There's so many options. If you've never bought a Scuf, how do you know which one to pick? That was a huge flaw. I did review after review, and there was nothing about which one I should buy. So if you can kind of see right here, my actual aimer stick, I picked medium concave, which is actually the size of the original Xbox 360 controller, which I kind of regret doing, because now when I play, my thumbs are unlevel. So it's like buying those FPS control freaks. Those suck. So I was a little mad about this. In my opinion, after I bought the controller, 2 or 3 months later, I went to a buddy's house. He had a Scuf with a dome stick. That is the way to go. It's the most comfortable on your thumb, and you get full rotation of your finger while you're aiming. So as you can see, your thumb kind of sticks off. With domed, it's constantly on the pad. So it was really, really nice. There's no need in changing the running stick. There's no point. Save your money, because all you're doing is running and moving, unless you really care that much about dome. I blacked the controller out. Now, this is the biggest flaw for me. This right here is crucial and killer. So if you look, here's your Scuf buttons. Now these buttons are going to be A and B. So obviously you're playing Advanced Warfare or any of those games that you jump a shitload. This A button is going to get wore out pretty quick. So if you can see, that's me clicking the A button. Not a single, doesn't even sound like it's moving. But you come over and click the B. Click, 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 click. And you could probably hear that. So that's from extenuous use of about 6 to 8 months, and that's what you get. I will be in the middle of a Call of Duty match, clicking A as hard as I possibly can, and I have no idea if I'm actually clicking the button or not. Because sometimes when you're playing, your finger might move up and it just gets harder, or down here and it gets looser, and you can't really tell if you're clicking it. So sometimes I'll either jump or I won't. So there are a lot of flaws with this. Now, I had a buddy that bought one of the new Cinch gaming controllers, where instead of them being paddles, it's an actual, literally a button. Those worked way better. So if you think about it, you've had an Xbox controller for 3 or 4 years from your 360, the A button still works just fine. As long as you're not mashing it as hard as you possibly can, there's no reason you shouldn't, there's no reason it should do this to where there's no movement. So this is my Scuf review of me using it for about 6 to 8 months, and there's a lot of flaws to it. Now, I'll do an upside video letting you guys know how I think the controller should be, and also if it's really worth the money. So as of now, in my opinion, it was not worth $200, and hopefully this helps anybody else who's doing a review. So thank you. Subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you guys think. Later.